Now, historically, there's been some rather extreme examples of hoarding, which you again touch on in the article, the chapter that we've published in the Science of Psychotherapy. So I'm wondering, would you just pick on maybe one of those and just give us an insight into some extreme versions of hoarding?
So there are a few that I touch on in the book, and I think there are two that are quite interesting. Well, they're all quite interesting, actually. But the Collier brothers are probably the most famous of the hoarding stories, and they're one of the original stories. They were two brothers, sons of a gynecologist who lived in one of the boroughs in New York, and really never let anything leave their home. So they collected everything that their father had ever owned, including some pickled organs from his medical practice, all of his medical paraphernalia. They kept every item, including garbage that came into their home, and never let it out of their home. One of them would actually go scavenging at night. So hoarding can involve collecting in some cases, actually in many cases. And so one of the two brothers would go scavenging at night, picking up anything that he was interested in off of the streets that had been abandoned and bringing them into his home. And this was actually sensationalized in the popular press, but it was extreme. And actually the way that it was finally solved was actually by the deaths of the two brothers. So the police and other authorities had tried to intervene many, many times, and they were very paranoid and thought that people were trying to break into their homes to get valuables. And so they set up traps and tunnels and barricades to prevent people from coming into their home. And it was only when there was a smell of decomposition and decay that the police finally broke into the home and found one of the two brothers dead, and actually were nearly buried in the hoard. He had been buried in a collapsed tunnel underneath the hoard. And his other brother, who had gone missing, was found several weeks later and had probably died prior to him. So this is one of the most extreme examples of hoarding, where their entire house was filled with tons and tons of refuse, and it eventually led to their death.
Yeah, and I can sort of go halfway to understanding collecting objects that may have some utility or emotional connection, but when it comes to like plastic, cups and straws and garbage, basically.
Yes, actual decomposing refuse.
What is going on in the mind of a hoarder when they're collecting garbage?
So I don't know what's going on in their minds. I'm quite interested in that question, but I think it speaks a little bit to the idea of insight. So whether you actually recognize in and of yourself that what is happening to you is a problem, whether you see yourself as having something that is causing impairment. And people will tell you that they keep those containers or those bags because they may need them, and they don't know quite how many they're gonna need, so they don't want to get rid of any of them. Refuse is a little bit more difficult. I also have families or patients who will tell me that they need to keep food even though it's spoiled because they might need it, recognizing full well sometimes that spoiled food is not edible or not good for them, but often they just lack the ability to make the decision to throw it away. So sometimes actually, though, those people don't come to my attention very frequently because they don't always see that it's a problem. If you say to them, you have spoiled food in your refrigerator, they may be forced to recognize it in the moment, but they may not actually hold on to that knowledge that this is a problem. They're not psychotic, they're not delusional, but around this, they don't have the insight that this is problematic.
Thank you for tuning in to the Science of Psychotherapy. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell so that we can reach more people and bring you more Science of Psychotherapy. And if you're a mental health professional, check us out at thescienceofpsychotherapy.com.